Here's why Dying Light 2 fucking sucks and how to fix it. I'm hoping to make this into a series where I talk about all of Dying Light 2's flaws because I love Dying Light, I love Dying Light 2, and I want to see this game turn into the game we all actually expected these long 7 years that we've waited. So, here's how to fix Dying Light Part 1. The night system. I fucking hate the night system in this game. Let me give you a breakdown of how it works. In the first game, you had Volatiles everywhere. There were these big alpha zombies. They can run, do parkour. They have insane amounts of health. They pretty much one-shot you, and they were everywhere at night. Which means if you're out and about just looting or killing zombies at night, you're fucked. You're gonna die until you start getting really overpowered weapons and the grappling hook and things like that. In Dying Light 2, Volatiles are not on the street. You just have biters, which are just the regular zombies, the ones you think about when you think of a zombie, and you have Howlers. Now, Howlers look like Volatiles, except much skinnier, and all they do is, once they see you, they scream, and once they scream, running zombies will come after you, and then eventually your chase level will continue going up, just like in the first game. The longer your chase is ongoing, the higher your chase level. Now, here's the problem. Howlers are only on the streets, which means if you stick to the rooftops, you will never start a chase at all. And the fact of the matter is, if you don't actively go looking for a chase in this game, you won't get chased, which ruins the whole scare factor. The whole fear factor of this game is gone, because unless you want a chase, you're not going to get one. They stay on the streets, and if you're not on the streets, if you're on the rooftops or doing whatever, you're not going to get chased, which is a flaw, because it's not scary anymore if you know what's going to happen. So, I have a little plan on how to improve the night system without doing anything too crazy. Step 1 is to remove the fucking Howlers. Get these guys out of the game. I don't like them. They're redundant. The Banshee should be screaming like a Howler, and it should be eyeing you down. Honestly, there's no reason for it to be in the game. It doesn't even attack you. It doesn't even attack you. It just looks at you and screams, and that is it. It's redundant, and honestly, there's no reason for them to have a Howler over Volatiles, which is my second point. Step 2 is to replace Howlers with Volatiles. Now, I wouldn't just replace them with the Volatiles we have in the game already, because those ones are actually kind of difficult to deal with, and I like the fact that they're a lot more powerful than in the first game. If you don't have the PK crossbow, if you don't have a bunch of artifact and legendary weapons, they are a pain in the ass to fight, especially because you never just fight one. There's always usually 2 or 3 lurking around. So I wouldn't replace the Howlers with those Volatiles. I would replace them with a different type of Volatile, a new Volatile. This Volatile should be an intermediate between the Dying Light 1 Volatile and the Dying Light 2 Volatile. It should have some of its ribcage exposed, just like Dying Light 1. It should be red in color, just like the Dying Light 1 Volatile. And it should maybe come in different colors, maybe some in red, some in dark gray, maybe drop something special. I'm not really sure about that, but I want a new type of Volatile in the game to replace the Howler. And basically, maybe to differentiate them more, you could give them a different scream. I was honestly expecting that when I came into Dying Light 2. I was expecting the Volatiles to sound different, but they sound pretty much the same as Dying Light 1. So having a different Volatile that actually sounds a little bit different would be cool. Imagine like a deep, hellish scream from these new Volatiles, and they're just everywhere on the street. It would be really awesome. But anyways, basically, these Volatiles will replace the Howlers. And what will they do better than Howlers? Well, everything. First of all, they're going to climb rooftops excessively, especially if you're on the rooftop. If you're on rooftops, if you're sticking up high and not being down in the streets, they'll start climbing up. Even if they haven't seen you, they're just going to randomly climb up buildings, and if they see you, they see you. Imagine you're just running, doing your little parkour thing on the top of a roof, and you just see a Volatile climb up on the other side of the building. That would be terrifying. Give them the same thing as the Howlers have, where if they eye you down long enough, a chase starts, but then they're going to start chasing, and it's like immediate, right then and there. You know what's chasing you. You don't have to wait for virals to come out of God knows what hellhole. You just know exactly what's going to chase you and where it's coming from. Now, in terms of health and damage, relative to the Volatiles in the game, it should be a little bit less. Honestly, the Volatiles in the game right now are a little bit too strong, especially if you don't have those overpowered weapons, so make them a little bit easier to fight with, especially because they're going to be everywhere at night. But don't make them too easy. They shouldn't be like virals. They should still be hard to kill. Now, as the chase progresses, we're going to get virals in the mix, you're going to get more of those newer Volatiles in the mix, and then eventually you'll get the Volatiles that we already have in the game. Those really strong ones, the gray ones we already have in the game. And now all of a sudden you have 2 different types of Volatiles chasing you, you have virals, and it'll just be so much more terrifying. And to really amplify the chase level at level 4, you're gonna start seeing banshees spawn in on rooftops. So if you start to paraglide away, they're gonna jump on your paraglider and like claw you down, and you're gonna just crash into the ground with 0 stamina. And it'll just be so much more scary than knowing that you have to run. You can't paraglide anymore, because now you've got banshees on the rooftops waiting to pounce on you if you got your paraglider out. Maybe you could have some drowners in the water, which, to be honest, I actually haven't fought a drowner yet. I don't even know what they look like, because I don't know, I was expecting them to be everywhere in the water and I haven't seen one, so I don't know. But anyways, just have some sort of zombie, the zombie in the water that we saw in the trailer, have that one in the water, have banshees on the rooftops waiting for you to pull out your paraglider, and then volatiles and virals everywhere. That would make the chase level so much more fun. And honestly, it would make going out at night actually fun and rewarding. They've already done a little bit more to entice you to go out at night. I mean, we have the legendary encounters, but it's not scary. A core aspect of playing Dying Light 1 was how scary it was at night. It really felt like a whole different game at night, and it just doesn't feel that way in Dying Light 2. It feels the exact same, except now you can't go on the ground without a bunch of virals pouncing on you. We need to make this game scary again. And especially with the fact that you get the paraglider so early, it wasn't something you had to grind for like the grappling hook in Dying Light 1. Like, you can easily outrun any zombie, right? Any zombie, even volatiles, even virals, you can outrun them in seconds. And it makes the nighttime a little bit less scary, knowing that you can just at any moment just go away. So, in my opinion, replace Howlers, please, with a new type of volatile, or at the bare minimum, please let Howlers attack you, let Howlers climb up buildings randomly. Please make this game more risky to play at night. It should be kind of like you don't know if you're gonna make it back or not, because it should be that scary. Because it really has that potential. This game has the potential to be scary. It really does, but it just doesn't hit it. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel scary enough. And the sequel I was expecting to be a lot more scarier, especially with how the trailer looked. But in my opinion, Dying Light 1 is way scarier than Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 feels much too expansive, and then you have a night that's kind of lackluster, and you just have this game that doesn't feel that different at night. So, in conclusion, the night system sucks, and if you haven't played Dying Light 1, or if you don't know what I'm talking about in terms of the night system, please, at the bare minimum, go watch some Dying Light 1 night footage. It is really, really scary, and even scarier when you're playing it. Other than that, if you are on the fence about Dying Light 2, buy it on sale. Do not buy it for $80. You are going to refund it. Other than that, I hope to make this into a series where I can just talk about every reason why this game falls short, and then I'll make a counter series where I make a video on why the game is actually great. That was this video, and if you agree, great. If you don't, tell me why, and I'll see you guys in the next video that I eventually get around to making.